Kit Kats can read. Hello guys, it's Casey. Welcome to another video, and in today's video I'm bringing you a review on Weather by DeStefano. I have owned this book for well over 6 years now. It was in my first ever book haul on my channel, and I am so glad that I managed to get around to reading it. I actually really enjoyed it, and I can't believe I've waited so long to read it. So as a quick disclaimer, this is a book that I've just purchased for myself, and this review is going to contain my true opinions only. So first of all, this is the first book that is in the Chemical Gardens trilogy by DeStefano. This is a dystopian story about females who die when they are 20 and males who die when they are 25. Due to a genetic condition that has happened over the years, they have tried to scientifically alter humans so that they are like much better. However, there's been a defect, and because of that there is this sort of low life rate for these. We're not really sure as of yet why females die when they're 20 and why males seem to live a bit longer. That wasn't really explained in this book, so maybe that will be explained in other books. So we have a main character called Rhine, and she is captured and, amongst other girls, chosen by a governor to be a wife. So she's chosen among two other females, one who is a couple of years older than herself and one who is a couple of years younger. So they're taken to this big old mansion where there are people that look after them, massive gardens, and a governor and his father who is supposedly looking for an antidote for this sort of virus or slash phenomenon thing that is going on. So Ryan is just like, oh my goodness, I'm in this building, how do I escape? She's got a twin brother that she speaks about that she got taken away from. She's worrying because Rowan, her twin brother, probably has no idea where she is or like where she's gone to, so she's worrying about that, and really it's her target to get out. So she sort of befriends the other two wives and she gets really close to the governor as her way of trying to get out. So really this is a story about Rhine and her discovering about like her sisters, about things that are going on, and are there hidden things going on in this place, so kind of like a mystery. It's definitely got a sort of like eerie vibe to it, and it's just about her trying to escape and like finding a way of escaping, because it seems very, very impossible and very, very difficult. And it's just about all the things that go on, like with this virus and everything, and what happens, and you know, why is it like that? So it is kind of like a mystery to this world. And will she escape, or you know, will she get close to anybody that she didn't have intention of getting close to anybody? Really, that's kind of like the majority of the storyline of this book. So for me personally, I really enjoyed this. I tend to fly towards dystopian books as they are. Will I continue on with this series? Yes, I will. I'm intrigued to know what's going to happen in the next installment. There are 2 other books. I have ordered the next one already. I should have that hopefully soon, and hopefully I can find out what happens next with Rhine and all the adventures and mysteries. And yeah, it's definitely got a darkness around this book, and it makes it like mysterious and eerie. So yeah, it has a very creepy but elegant vibe to this book, and that's what I really sort of liked about it as well. And I know since like watching people's reviews on this, like as of recently, even like old reviews of like 6 years ago, like just most people were just saying that they actually really enjoyed it, and I don't think I've seen like any massive negative reviews. There are some that didn't really like it, but not any like rant reviews. Like most people have just sort of like found it okay, or they've got annoyed about a couple of things and all that. But I really liked it. I really liked Rhine as a main character. I thought she was just a great character in my opinion. Like I agreed with her with like everything, and yeah, I truly believed her character, and yeah, really like her as a main character. and there's the other sister wives, Cecily, who's the younger one, she's just a total brat, and then there's the older one of Jenna, and I really liked Jenna, and she was just very sort of, she was a very good character too, like I really liked Jenna. So yeah, Lyndon as the governor, he seems like a really nice, genuine guy, and he just sort of like, because of the way that the world is, he can't really help himself, and it's just the way the world goes, is sort of like the way it is, and the fact that females only live to a young age and the males live to a young age, they have to procreate somehow, and he's just sort of like living with that, which is why he's got these wives. It's more like he's doing it because he sort of like has to, rather than in a way like want to, and he seems like a really nice, genuine guy, and I'm sort of wondering like if we will probably see more of him in like the other books, like because he actually seems really nice, like. And Housemaster Ron, like he's just a horrible, creepy man, like there's just, yeah, didn't like him. I didn't really have much to say on Gabriel, because for me he hasn't like come out as, I don't know, like he's one of the attendants that Ryan sort of like grows towards like liking and having a connection with, but for me I didn't really feel a connection with him. Like he just seems like a nice guy, like I didn't really feel like, oh, I really like him too. Like I didn't really feel anything from him, it just seemed like a nice guy. So maybe we'll see more of that in like other books as well. But yeah, I didn't really get like any sort of like love, if that makes sense. So yeah, I think those are like the main sort of like characters of the book, and that's near enough like what I felt about those characters. And the ending of the book, for me, is sort of, it feels like in a way that it could end there, but also there are so many unanswered questions, which is why we do need a sequel. Like it could end there as being like, boom, that's it, but at the same time it's sort of like, what about Rowan, sort of thing, like he's mentioned but we never see him, sort of thing. So it's just like, what about him, and you know, what about the outside world, and you know, what about the other characters, will we see these characters? And yeah, there's a lot of like what ifs. So yeah, it definitely does lead you to wanting to know more, which is why I'm glad that there are sequels to this. So this is actually the first book that I've read by Lauren DeStefano. She has written other books as well, and especially a series as of late. One being, it's called The Glass Bear, and it's only been out like the past couple of years, and the sequel I think came out like last year, but don't quote me on that. So I know she has written another series, but I haven't really heard a lot of people talk about this one. Maybe it was like big 6 years ago, but it's not like one of those series that people still read. So like, for example, like the Mortal Instruments series, seems that people are still reading it, you know, even now. Or like the Percy Jackson series, people are still reading it even now. Harry Potter, people are reading it like all the time and raving about it. So it's one of those series that's almost like it's got hushed back in those years, and no one's really sort of like read it since, which is a shame really. So but I quite enjoyed it myself. Like I liked the writing style of this book, and I've been enjoying most of it and haven't found it boring at all. I just sort of, I found it interesting. Like I say, I like dystopian novels. It's almost like a new world to me that is quite sci-fi, and that's just what I quite like about it, and the mysteries of it. And in a way, it's quite gross just finding out certain things about it, and it's just like, oh, but yeah, I really enjoy it. So out of ratings, I gave this 5 out of 5 Kit Kats, I really enjoyed it personally. I didn't think there was anything I didn't like about it, like really. To be honest, like as I was going through it, I was sort of dipping between like 4.5 stars and 5, and then I was sort of thinking like, why 4.5? Like, is there something there that I don't like? And there wasn't. And then it just sort of like, every time I was thinking like 4.5 stars, something would happen which would then bring it up to 5 again. And then and it was just like near towards like the last, I suppose, 50 pages, I was just like, what's gonna happen, what's gonna happen? And yeah, I was just kept on the edge of my seat and really enjoyed it because of that. And yeah, I'm looking forward to reading the sequel and seeing what's going to happen next in this, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I can't really think of like if I had a favourite part of this book. I suppose just the bit where we have this character called Rose, and just Ryan befriending this character called Rose, sort of like near towards the beginning. And I don't really want to talk too much on that because, you know, I don't want to spoil really, but they just have this really sort of like sweet friendship, and I just really liked their scenes together where they just like spoke together and opened up together. And yeah, I suppose that was probably my favourite part of the book. And maybe just also the scenes with Jenna as well, the really sweet scenes. Jenna reading romance books and sitting in the library and just sort of like becoming real good friends with Ryan. And yeah, those were the really sort of sweet scenes that I really liked reading. So yeah, so I suppose those were like the favourite parts of my books, like the pure sort of scenes where friendship really sort of blossomed and showed on the pages. And yeah, really enjoyed it. So as a summary, do I think it's worth you guys buying? Personally, yes. If you really like your dystopian novels, if you really sort of like mysteries and just finding things out, and just sort of like in a creepy little world where we all have to procreate because of a reason that's genetic and that we can't live for long, if that really sort of like sounds intriguing to you, then I totally recommend to give it a read. Like I say, I really enjoyed it, and I hope if you guys have it on your shelves and you just haven't got around to reading it, please do give it a try and see what you think about it. I know it's like a few years old now, but to be honest, it doesn't feel like it's a book that's really old, but it's definitely an interesting dystopian novel, and I'm glad that I got around to reading it, although I did own it for a long time. I'm just, yeah, it feels like an achievement to have read it, and I sort of feel like, why haven't I read it? Why have I only just read it now? Because I enjoyed it. So that's it for my review. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you have, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and anything that you would like to say, just let me know down below in the comments, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. All of my social media links, as always, are linked down below in the description if you would like to follow me elsewhere. But all in all, guys, that's it from me. Keep smiling, keep reading, and be happy. My name is Katie, and I will see all of you wonderful, awesome people in my next video. Bye!